So I'm at the Airbnb container home for the weekend. I've found the address and I'm going to go check in. So here I am in my home for the weekend. I'm staying in the Strawberry container home. It's an Airbnb. It's in East Downtown Houston. I've kind of been doing the nomad lifestyle. So that means staying in Airbnbs and hotels wherever I am for the past 4 months. So it's been since March. I think the last time I did a video in my place, I was preparing to move. I was packing up. And the biggest thing I was doing was finding a home for all of my plants. So that was why. Here I am 4 months later, 4 months down, and I say 2 months to go, because where I'm at with it is really trying to decide if and where I will stay in Houston, like finding another place. Is it gonna be in Houston? And if it's gonna be in Houston, where will it be? So I've kind of been trying out different neighborhoods. It's been a real experience, and I think why I have been doing it is, number one, sometimes you have to take a break from traditional life if you can. And right now, this was an opportunity for me to do that. But for the most part, I think I was living a pretty traditional life. But for the past 4 months, I've been living as a nomad. I've had some wow moments where I've been, and the horror stories do stick out. So yeah, there have been some really great places, and then there have been some places with horror stories. But it's been teaching me to think on my feet, and it's been showing me that I do have survival skills. And it's like, but here I am in the Strawberry container. It's a small, tiny home that has probably about 250 or 300 square feet of living space. It's very cute. There's a shared lawn and a playground and a rooftop living space for the other people that are staying in the complex. So what I like about it is it's very close to town, but it's also kind of in a secluded neighborhood. So it's quiet. Well, there were some dogs barking, but last night. But it's quiet. It's peaceful. There's a bedroom with just a bed, bathroom, and then this little cute living space, which I'm gonna kind of do a 360 of in a minute here. But yeah, this is the Airbnb for the weekend. Airbnb. About 4 months ago, I moved out of the place I was in and just decided, you know what? I'm gonna take some time to really figure out the exact place I wanna be and the exact neighborhood I wanna be in. And there shouldn't have to be any rush for me to decide that. And so for the fact, that's exactly what I've been doing. Is it all peaches and roses? No, because this Airbnb life, sometimes it's not for the weak. There have been some really great places to stay, and then there's also been some horror stories. Deal with uncertainty a little better. Like, I'm the kind of person that needs to know. I need a plan. I need like some stability and foundation under my feet. But when you live in a nomad lifestyle, like, you have to roll with the punches. You have to be able to make a decision on a dime. You have to be uncomfortable with and be ready to respond to things as they come your way. And that's kind of what this is teaching me. So I'm also being a little bit more intentional about knowing what I need and what I don't need. And I mean like physical stuff, like the planning aspect of it. Like when I moved, like there was so much stuff. Like we keep so many things we really just don't need, and I'm guilty of that. Like, and I'm not even like borderline hoarder. It's like moving out, you realize like, oh my God, how did I accumulate all this stuff in just, you know, X number of years or whatever it is. So I like that I'm on the go and I'm having to move with only the things that are really important and only the things that I actually really need. I hope I can stay in the habit of that, to like be able to be comfortable with letting go, just letting stuff go. Do I need 10 outfits? Not really. I mean, really all I need is 7, because there's 7 days in a week. And if I have access to a washing machine and dryer, then I should be good to go. But that's a deeper topic. I'm not trying to go there. I'm just saying that what the nomad lifestyle is teaching me is how to move with just the things that are absolutely necessary. So you might wanna try that on. You might want to see how you do with that. You might want to discover if there are things that are in your life or in your space that you really don't need to be there. So that's it so far. I might like all these reflections in this tiny home. No, the walls are not closing in on me, but it's that mind space that you get in, right? When you just start to reflect and you start to think. So yeah, that's where I am right now. That's where I'm going to be for the weekend, and I will share what the space looks like and talk about where I'm going to be next. This is the winding stairway up to the entrance. I'm trying not to trip over my own dress. Oh shit. What did I do with the key? Oops. I was just talking about how, you know, living as a nomad, you learn things about yourself. You learn how to operate, you learn how to operate in a different way. And lo and behold, like I got yet another example, of that, because you can kind of see where I'm at right now. This keypad is not working, so they have a physical key at the moment to get in and out of the space. And I'm so used to these keypads now. It's kind of like a normal setup in these Airbnb spaces, that they'll have a keypad for you to get in and out, and then that way they can change the code, per guest, I guess, and that's safer, because you always have a different code. But this one right now, they don't have a code, they have a physical key. And so I walked out to my car to get something out of the car and left the key inside. Now, do you think I brought my wallet and my phone or the key with me? No, because I was just going to my car to get something and I left it. in there and got locked out. But there's nowhere to go if you if you lock yourself out of the Airbnb. So I had to just take to the streets and walk until I could find somebody that could help me. And shout out to Alfredo at the number 17 fire station downtown. I had asked probably 4 or 5 people, went in different restaurants, went up to people on the street. There's a market happening right over on Navigation, and I was just in think on your feet mode and like, hey, survival, not survival, but just like, I need help. And it puts you in there, you get thrust into that mode. But shout out to Alfredo because he let me use his phone. He let me access a browser window where I could log into Airbnb and let them know that I was locked out. Well, needless to say, like, I'm back in now, but I just thought, wow, here it is. And I was just like talking about how being in a position to, you know, hey, really think like, all right, like, this is it. And you're out of your normal routine. Everything is not so predictable, and it I think it like sharpens you a little bit. So those are the things that, like, if you're living in fear, or if you're living in that's not my norm, or I can't predict everything that's gonna happen, then you might. I'm learning how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, and like, this is way out of my comfort zone, but that's just an example. This is just a moment of, first of all, I should have gotten the key, but I forgot it. So problem solved. I just want to say, yeah, you know, this is real. This is real. This is really happening. That's it. And by the way, this is day 3 in the tiny house, in the container home. So, I mean, it's so cute in here. I unplugged the TV because it kept coming on by itself, and I'm like, I already feel like there's always cameras everywhere. So, hey, it's just a part of life now, but cameras everywhere. And then also, like, who's turning the TV on and off without me touching the controls? So yeah, it's day 3 in here. It's definitely like a short-term thing. A short-term thing, still fun, still cute, you know. Add it to your bucket list, right? Like, stay in a tiny home once in your life, or stay in a tiny home like as a standard, right? Like, stay in a tiny home as your, you know, as your way of life. I can't think of a way to say that, but yeah, this is it. So I call myself taking advantage of everything this space has to offer. There's like this shared lawn space that's out here, and it's turf grass, which a plant life person, you know, I won't cast judgment, but it's turf grass, but it's still nice, right? And it's less than 105 degrees outside right now, so this is the perfect time to come out. So I'm on the share lawn at the container home juice box Airbnb. What is it called? There's so many different names. It's called juice box, it's called container home, it's called a lot of different things on the listing, but it's a pretty cool spot. I've been here for the weekend. Had a little bit of ran into some issues earlier today with the lock, but all is good now. Yeah, and I'm just outside enjoying some fresh air, now that it's under 105 degrees for the day. Maybe it's cooler than that, but it still feels like it still feels devastatingly hot out here. So outside, shared lawn space, cute little chairs. Yes.
No wonder. Lay your head for a while, for emptiness will do. Everybody knows that you were
By the way, the lock has a keypad, but right now it's locking by itself. So you open it with the physical key, and after a few minutes it will lock by itself. Checking out of this. Oh, see, that's what happens. It locks on its own. And I'm trying to check out. And close the door. Yes. Checking out of the tiny home. Coming down the steps. Be careful because I feel like this is weird. Yeah, this was different. I'm glad I did it because I know for sure that I can't stay in a tiny home. I need a medium to large home. Yeah, for various reasons. But yeah, that was cool. That was a cool experience. Checked it off the list. It was nice. It was nice to get to see that, but now it's on to the next.